Alright, guys. Here I am. Just at the beginning of my third month of my 365 days of going live with tarot energy check-ins. Anyway. Believe it or not, like, my entire life, like, the main reason I'm here on Earth is simply... Okay, so, I want you to know that there's a price to pay for freedom. So my spirit is a free spirit. I have officially achieved free spirit status. Like, I passed all my tests, and I am a free spirit. I was always going to pass them anyway, but, I've passed all my tests in life already, okay? I had very intense, hardcore tests to pass my first, I want to say until I was like 36, it lightened up, at 26, it started lightening up, and, basically, I was less likely to die, right? But, the first 26 years of my life, I had literally a test every moment, and, my life was on the line, 24/7, okay? And it was very important that I operated in a way that I chose life, okay? And, my spirit was already free, but my spirit remained free. So the reason I'm even alive, the reason I chose to come into an earthly body, was to keep my free spirit. Because you have to, in order to be a free spirit, there's, of course, there's, the universe is big, but Earth is a big place to come, to achieve freedom of spirit. And it's one of the easier places to come when your free spirit due needs to be paid. You come to Earth, and you do work on Earth that, you get another free spirit. I'll have another free spirit for another 1,000 years probably. And I'll have to come back in the year 3000 and, be of service, okay, to humanity again. I'm with humanity until the end of humanity. My spirit, because of stuff that I did, I tethered myself to humanity for the rest of humanity, for eternity. So, I'm just saying, I don't recommend it, okay? If you can leave being a human with no dues left to pay to humanity, I recommend doing that, okay? And just, we're responsible for our creations, and the impact that our creations have, depending on how greatly we impacted humanity, the greater the impact we have on humanity, the more we are tethered to it, okay? So, it's just something to keep in mind, all right? Yes, we all want to feel important. We all want to feel like, okay, we need that. That's a human need, is to feel witnessed and to feel like we're important, to feel like we make an impact in the world, okay? That's a basic human need, okay? But I'm just saying that don't run away with it, okay? Because I'm an example of someone who I put too much weight on it, and now I'm just irrevocably tied to humanity, okay? And at this point, it's just a burden, okay? Being alive as a human is a burden. I'm not saying that I have learned to love life, and I choose to live my life one day at a time, because I'm in acceptance and I practice radical self-love, but it doesn't feel like, yes, I get the chemical hit from feeling like I'm important and making an impact, but I realize now that that doesn't make me important. All that makes me is just more tethered to humanity and the destiny of humanity across time, okay? Which is a burden, and, yes, as a human, having success and impact and having that wide influence, yes, it feels good, but that feeling is a lie, okay? Or it's not that it's a lie, it's just that that feeling is, it's very low on the totem pole of mattering, okay? the way it mainly matters is it just tethers you to humanity, okay? And then you become responsible for humanity as a whole. All right, that's, so I'm just saying that, and there's really, at this point, there's nothing noble about being tethered to humanity, because humanity is, as someone I've, as another spiritual person online, who I'm, I don't know personally, but Teal Swan, I interact with her content quite a bit. I have. And, as she says, I consider her a philosopher, all right? I mean, she's been called a cult leader, and people are afraid to associate with her, which is, God, Teal Swan is clearly learning the hard way about, why being tethered to humanity is not really something to feel proud of at this point. Although, she is tethered. But anyway, I'm not going to get too deep into her, because yes, Teal Swan I consider her a best friend, but, because I'm not going to go into that, but I also consider her a philosopher. But the reason that she comes off as a cult leader is just because she is from Utah, okay? And Utah is like the cult state, okay? You can't be from Utah and not like, because Utah is like runs itself like a cult, okay? And so if you grew up in Utah, then you have a cult mentality, okay? So, and I just, Teal Swan, if you hear this message, I would brand yourself as a philosopher, okay? Because we need you, okay? And I would just brand yourself as a philosopher, okay? Because philosophy is impersonal enough that it will decharge your media and your impact, okay? If you classify yourself as a philosopher, okay, because philosophy is, it's impersonal, and it will help to remove you as a person from your content, okay? So anyway, but as she says, the human race is essentially a cancer cell, okay? And so, it doesn't have to be this way, okay? We can work together to, cure, the cancer cell that we are, okay? So anyway, let's do the energy check, and that was a long one. Need to do my prayer. All right. I invited my higher self to be here with me for the next 24 hours. Thank you for being here with me, higher self. Now is the time for me to put in my special request with the Most High. Okay. Thank you, Most High, for hearing our prayers. And thank you for redirecting us where we need redirecting. I invite in my ancestors to be here with me for the next 24 hours. Thank you, ancestors, for being here with me. Repeat after me. I'm doing the celebration, and you're doing the repetition of the celebration, okay? I invited my higher self to be here with me for the next 24 hours. Thank you, higher self, for being here with me for the next 24 hours. I invited my ancestors to be here with me for the next 24 hours. Thank you, ancestors, for being here with me for the next 24 hours. I invited my guardian angels to be here with me for the next 24 hours. Thank you, guardian angels, for being here with me for the next 24 hours. Thank you, guardian angels, for keeping me safe, healthy, and sane for the next 24 hours. All right, amen. Amen, omen. You men, I men. Yeah, this was a wannabe utopia, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X, soon to be known as Nullset. Okay, I'm spearheading we need to keep changing the name of this this website or whatever social media platform, because it's just, we got to keep changing the name of it, and now it's Nullset, okay?